Welcome Frank Lopez with his interview, You Make a Difference.
Thank you, and welcome to the show, You Make a Difference. How many of you wake up every morning and knowing that you died 25 years ago, but you're going to wait another 50 years in order to be buried? Well, You Make a Difference goes out on the street, and we look for people, just ordinary people, and we want to know their story. We want to know if they're alive and not buried, or buried and not alive. So, with that being said, my next guest, I was walking, going through life's path's journey, and our paths crossed. And I thought, you know what, you would make an interesting guest on my show of You Make a Difference. So everyone, I'd like you to welcome my guest, Jeff. Thank you for being on the show today, Jeff.
Thank you for the invite.
Well, Jeff, you know I only invite people who make a difference.
Yes.
And since I've met you and you've been in my life, I feel that you've made a difference. And when we started the show 5 years ago, there was no Procter & Gamble, there was no Walmart. We didn't have Amazon as our sponsor. I didn't write 10 books, which all of you have purchased in this audience today, which some of you may receive an autographed copy. But it just came from an idea and following through with that soul searching. And Jeff, when I saw Jeff earlier today, he brought up a topic that's near and dear to his heart, and it's a name that I tried to pull up online, but standingpeople.earth. Is that correct, Jeff?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about this to inspire our audience?
Yes, I'd love to. This is a vision, part of a vision that started over 25 years ago, in which, when I was working in Tennessee and interacting with a lot of Native American relatives, I began a prayerful process looking for ways in which I could make a difference. And of course, all of you know from speeches I've given here that my field of expertise is in childhood sexual abuse. And what I've begun to discover in my doctoral pursuits is that there's a common ground in here for doing things not only for victims of childhood sexual abuse, but maybe healing some wounds in this country. That this terrible thing that's happened to children in our midst is also a common ground that could bring us all together. And I've formed an organization, and as part of my doctoral program, I'm developing a private nonprofit organization that will generate income and disseminate through the internet and standingpeople.earth information that's helpful to people who've been traumatized, whether by sexual abuse or war or racism or religious persecution. It's about discussing the tough issues in life in a multicultural setting and diverse populations.
Jeff, what do you think is the biggest challenge that you have to getting this message out to anyone who needs to be influenced by it?
Well, the biggest hurdle I can see, and it's within us and it's around us, and that is that sometimes what we believe to be true, we discover is sometimes partially true. That facing the difficult truths of life and forming a belief that's accurate and moving in a direction that will be helpful to not only me as a person, but all of us as a people in a society, or just as a village, or as an organization of Toastmasters, is that we have to be able to listen to disagreement, different viewpoints. But if we can find something we both agree on, it doesn't matter what race, religion, socioeconomic group you come from, if we can find something we agree on and can discuss that first, then we can move on to things that we may not totally agree on. But my moment of common ground is this. I suggest that if we had the United Nations in here with us, every race, religion, every socioeconomic group, every creed, color, etc. here, that I think there's something we could agree on. And that is that sexually abused children have a right to live. That they deserve the services to heal from that experience. They're children. And my experience has been dealing with people from all different walks of life is that when it comes to sexually abused children, we all suffer the same as parents, as loved ones. It hurts. And that we, as an international and multicultural group, we can agree that that's something we'd like to see some improvement on. And let's talk about that from your cultural viewpoint and from mine.
And with those words stated, I understand this is a difficult topic for a lot of people to embrace and to look at with truth and wanting to learn more about it. But if someone wants to learn more about it, can they go to this website and what will they find?
Well, I now own this website, standingpeople.earth, and it is not up and running yet. But that's a part of my assignment. That's a part of my schoolwork. To consult with scholars, to consult with people who are experts in developing businesses, business models. That I hope it's a multi-million-dollar operation, and no one who's connected with it will collect a paycheck. Everything goes to services for children.
What kind of services does a child need to take this trauma, this early trauma? What kind of services do they need? What's required for them to understand that there's no right or wrong. I can't say what's right, but you can make me understand it better. If it's a right or wrong, but it's a traumatic event that needs to be faced, what kind of services does a child need in order to get through this or make their life more balanced and ordinary?
A safe place with safe people to talk about what happened, the truth of what happened, and to be comforted through that. Part of what victims of abuse struggle with is a false sense that there's something wrong or defective within themselves that's a result of that experience. What every good, and there are lots of different modalities for treating children, but every good one supports the child in learning a truth about themselves, that they were born precious, that they have value, that they're as smart as anybody else in their own way, and that life is good and beautiful, even in the face of such ugly truths.
Now, if someone wants to help you with this organization, and since your website's not available right now or not up, how can they contact you and move forward and
Yes.
making this possible?
I'm currently writing on a blog called Writing, W-R-I-T-I-N-G, writinginamerica.com. So I can be contacted through Jeff at writinginamerica.com. And I have a phone number. I have business cards with me today. Any of you who are at all interested, I'm going to be advertising myself or promoting myself or marketing myself as a person who does this not only through public speaking, education, and writing, but through song, through work groups, and through videos. And in October I'll be doing a TED Talk on this subject, and I'm fired up about it, and Toastmasters gave me the courage to do all of this work. And I can't thank this organization enough or applaud all of you for being here, because I know that you're people who make a difference.
Thank you, Jeff, for being on the show, and anyone interested in helping Jeff out with this, which is life-changing, world-changing. What would you call it? What would you call the core of this?
It's a sustainability model for the future of the planet.
I love it.
If that's not too grandiose.
I like grandiose, and let me tell you, when I came in today, I just wanted to make a difference, and now audience, you know you can go out and make a difference. Thank you, John.